Okay, what's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome. It is Sunday evening, May 24th, and we have a very, very exciting team training for you tonight. I'm not going to spend too much time before handing it over to this evening's trainer. I just want to, for those of you that don't know who they are, they're going to share a little bit about their story. So you'll hear that from them. What I want you to hear from me is that these are two women who, you know, from the very first moment I met them, there was this palpable energy about both Allie and Jessi. There's something about being around them that just screams saying yes to life, yes to people, yes to love and leadership and experience and expansion and impact and optimism and attitude. And, you know, that's the one thing is, you know, we've been, you know, around for the last, you know, year and a half or 2 years, really watching them build their business. And the thing is, just like everybody's business, they've experienced highs and they've experienced lows. But what I've noticed about both of them is even in the most challenging times, these are two women who are glass half full type thinkers. And I think that's one of the big things that separates both of them is that their attitude is consistently optimistic. They're not Pollyanna, right? But they're pragmatic in their understanding and then their gratitude and their approach to life. The other thing that they do as well as anybody I've ever seen in my career is the way they build community. And I think that one of the reasons they're so great at building community is because they come from a remarkably wonderful family. They just have a great family. They've been raised with incredible values, a great moral compass. They've built a phenomenal team, and just recently their businesses have really popped in a huge new way thanks to that consistent attitude and persistence in everything that they've done. So I'm going to step off now, but again, I hope you guys are ready to take notes. These two are absolutely killing it, and they are a perfect example of leading with love and class and grace and everything that you both have achieved thus far you deserve, and we're so clear that it's the very, very beginning for both of you. So thank you guys for sharing your time with us this evening. I'm going to hand it over to both of you, and let's show them lots of love. Let me find you both, and we'll rock this thing out. There's Jessi.
Hey everyone, Zach, thank you so much. We're only here because of your amazing mentorship, and you know that we are full of so much gratitude for you guys and everybody here on this call. So thanks for joining the next 30 minutes with us. We're so excited. So I'm coming here live from Boston. We are sisters, but unfortunately we're not coming from the same room. So we're gonna toggle back and forth a little bit. And Allie's coming here live from New Jersey. So thanks so much for spending the time with us. We're so excited, and let's get like right into it. Hopefully we can provide you guys with like so much valuable information tonight and just have a lot of fun. So if it's okay, we'll start really quick just with our stories and share them super briefly before we kind of get into where we're at now and some things that I think you'll all take away that will be super valuable. Our story starts with you, Allie. So if you want to kick off first.
Yes. Hi, guys. I'm Allie Gray, and 4 years ago, almost exactly, I was getting ready for my wedding. I was so excited to be a bride, and I really just thought I wanted to lose some weight. Like, that was my number one goal. I reached out to a total stranger on Instagram, turned friend, and you guys all know how this part goes, but within days, I felt amazing. It was so much more than just the weight loss that I was noticing, and I found a lifestyle that I had been searching for years of just dieting, struggling with my weight, struggling with self-confidence, all of that. And so I knew I'd be here. I knew I'd be a part of this community forever in that sense. But what I didn't realize was that my heart was craving to be a part of something so bad that in between the stressful and busy days at the hospital, I was a cardiac device nurse. And as much as I loved caring for patients and doing that, I really missed something that filled up my cup that I got to pour into outside of work. And when I found this community, so much had changed, and people around me noticed that I was just happier, to be honest. It was so much more than just the weight loss part. And So when I realized that there was income that came along with it, and there was an opportunity called network marketing that went along with all of this, my eyes were just like, oh my gosh, my heart was like, what? Tell me more about this. I went on a whim to a network marketing event in Las Vegas because it sounded really cool. And I needed a break from those busy days at the hospital. I wanted to meet some amazing people from the community. And I went and I sat in my seat around so many people who are just dreaming bigger for their life, who were traveling with their families, who had businesses, who were like, honestly, just loving life. And I thought I was loving life. I was working really hard at my job. I had a really awesome job. I had such an awesome family and friends and all of that. But I sat there and I just like pictured more. And when I went back on my flight and I had my alarm set for 5 a.m. to get back to the hospital the next morning, I had a little pit in my stomach, but I also had butterflies because I was like, this could be for me. This could be for everyone. Like, what if I really got to work on it? What if I really got to work on it before I started? Like, I just pictured having a family one day that I had dreamed about for so long and just being able to design my own days around that and still have a business and still be able to contribute and all of that. So I went to work as hard as I possibly could, but had so much fun. Still have so much fun along the way. But within a year after that event, I was making a lot of weeks with Isagenix than I was making at my full-time job that I was already earning 6 figures in. And I was like, this is backwards because I love doing this. I love learning. This is just the beginning for all of this. And how many more people can I touch? And my absolute favorite part about all of it is that we get to do this with the people we love. We get to partner up with people who have goals and dreams and who light us up and just run with them along the way. And so obviously my sister Jessica joined in, and everything changed when we partnered up together and just talked about this community and just growing it and welcoming people in and having so much fun along the way and doing big things and all of that. So I'm going to kick it back over to Jessi because now, I mean, fast forward, I forgot this part. Fast forward, I have an almost 9-month-old at home. I get to be home with her every single minute that I want to, but also have something for me to fill up my cup and something to do for me and to be able to still contribute and do things for our family. We moved into like our home. We picture traveling when all of this is over together. And it's just so incredible. And I'm so excited for Jessi to share a part of her journey too, because I know a lot when we come together, just so much more is possible. And it's been one of my favorite parts of all of this. So Jess, back to you.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, Allie mentioned she was in a network marketing event, kind of on a whim. And I so believe that there's energy that is beyond us, that translates. And she happened to be sitting in that seat, thinking about what this life could be like for her and people in her life, and thinking about me. And I happen to be on call. I'm also a nurse that works in medical devices full time. I have a very demanding, crazy job, still doing it. And I happened to be on call that weekend while she was at the event. And while she was sitting there thinking of me, I was sitting at home on call in and out of the hospital all weekend thinking of her. And what she didn't realize was I was watching her on this journey. I was watching the person she was becoming. I was watching this amazing journey she was getting started on because she was finally confident in all areas of her life. Were transforming that. I knew what she had and what she was doing was something super powerful. And there was energies we can't explain that happened that weekend. And when she got back, we had a conversation, and I happened to be at a point in my life where I felt like, I say this all the time, but I felt like I was on a roller coaster of just like literally working for the days that I was off, and the days that I was off feeling like I was just trying to catch up, sleep, fun things, whatever it was, me time. And I kind of just felt like, I feel guilty saying this because I just got out of college, but is this really all there is to life? And the reason I felt guilty saying that and asking those questions was because nobody really around me was ever questioning those things. But I had something inside me that was like, yeah, no, I can't imagine this being my life. I can't imagine including a family in what this already is. And I had these goals and dreams for my life that I was supposed to just forget about and just keep doing this thing and this hamster wheel and this roller coaster of life where I just kept feeling like I wasn't getting to all of me and all that I wanted to do. And so I am so excited to say that I jumped on kind of with this big vision of what Isagenix could be in partnering with Allie, and didn't really realize how much I so desperately needed the products and the transformation that would come along with these amazing products that happen to check all the boxes that I cared about in my clean, healthy lifestyle that I was already living. And so Allie and I kind of joined for different reasons in that we had different goals that kind of led us all to these bigger goals that we have so much synergy with. So thanks for hearing our stories. And I think that I think Allie kind of knows this, but it wasn't really, you share, Al.
Yeah, so I think it was never a matter of like, are we going to do this? We knew from that weekend we were going to do this, like no matter what, whether it was in between like having a little one, in between like a quick, I wouldn't even call it a lunch break in between patients at the hospital. Like it was never a question of if we were going to do it. It was just a matter of how are we going to do it? How are we going to fit in? What are the days going to look like? But let's just go. We'll figure it out along the way, right? So now it's been, I would say, probably 2 years, a year and a half, coincidentally, since we linked up with these incredible mentors, Zach and Eden, and been a part of this whole community. But just figuring out what is that day-to-day going to look like, and how can we now share that with you? Like, what is the behind the scenes that's happening right now as things like double, triple, even quadruple some weeks to what they were months ago? And I think we can all also agree that this time, like there is not a better time than now to just go, to just grow, to share this with the world. Like people need this gift right now in so many different capacities. We get to share it with them. And what can we be doing each and every day to make sure that we are moving things forward? And maybe the behind the scenes looks a little bit different than it does here with being quarantined with a newborn with 2 people working jobs, or maybe Jesse's day is very different too, like in and out of the hospital still with, patients to see and stuff like that, but also building this business and blessing this forward. But we wanted to share, what we do behind the scenes. So we developed a checklist basically of what we go through each day to make sure that we're moving things forward and we're not leaving anybody behind. And we want to know if it would be valuable if we shared that list with all of you guys with what we've been doing day to day, and basically took us 2 years to get down.
Yeah, so I feel like after 2 years, we kind of like got it down on what to do and how to have it like on paper. And then this feeling of feeling good, like you did what you wanted to do in that day, kind of being able to track it. Something I didn't mention is Allie works full-time she lives her life full-time and builds this business part-time. I have a corporate job in the hospital, very demanding job, and build this in the pockets of my day. So we're both building this business part-time. And one of the huge passions on my heart is showing other full-time, employees, millennials, whatever it may be, that you can bring in a full-time income while also working a full-time job. It's a huge passion on my heart. And so whether you're at home full-time taking care of a newborn or you're working a full-time demanding job, you can and will be able to use Isagenix as a vehicle to bring in a full-time income and beyond. And you can do that in the pockets of the day that you have right now. You don't have to wait for a better time or when things ease up or whatever it may be. And this is how you do that. So we'll kind of just get right into it, show you the behind the scenes, and kind of it just comes down to making sure that things happen every day and that you just do it. And these are the things that we just do every day. So first couple, we're going to go through a list, but we can share this resource with you guys afterward. But take notes, because what we're going to share is in regards to what the whole point of that daily action item is. It all falls in line with the REZ training system, which, just a disclaimer, we use with every single one of our teammates. That is how we all build this business, is leaning on that system and using the system. This is just kind of compiling that into a daily growth checklist to make sure you have done what you've done. So this is nothing different than what you've heard, just kind of some of our, major takeaways for that category.
Yes, exactly. So we'll get right to it. So number one, if you have a notebook, like Jessi said, feel free to write down, but we can share after. It's a working template too. So my favorite part about all of this is you get to make it you. But of course, there's those basics that we all have to be doing each and every day in order to share the story of Isagenix with people and to enroll people onto our team and to help them reach their goals, no matter what they are, right? So here's the day-to-day. First things first is new connections. And so you can pick your number. Maybe your goal right now isn't to make a full-time income just yet with Isagenix. Maybe a couple $100 a week is everything right now. And amazing. We all start there. That's what's so cool. So you can pick your number. Maybe if you're in like full go mode right now and you're like, I'm just going with this, like I have the time right now, you know, like maybe start with like the self-awareness part of like, what do you see? What do you picture? What do you want? And then make this list to fit that, right? And you can always switch over time. I mean, even day to day, right? So you can switch. So we just use the numbers that a minimum 3 for new connections every single day. And what can that look like if we, depending on where you are, if you can't get out and meet new people in real life every single day, well, there's so many ways we can from home still make connections and make new friends. And the sky's the limit there with leveraging social media. Maybe, you know, I love meeting people in places that I'd find something in common with them. So other moms or other dog moms or other athletes or trainers or someone local to you using like geo tags on Instagram, or there's different apps. I've heard of a peanut app to meet other moms, but just different ways where when we find people who have things in common with us, we can make friends with them. And this is just that. The new connections are new friends. It doesn't even have to do with Isagenix yet. We literally, I think Emily Vavra says this, like, we're professional friend makers. We are. This part is so, so, so fun. And our list of people that we know, our network, always has to be growing in order for our list of people we're sharing Isagenix with to grow. And for our team to always grow, we always have to be meeting new people. So if you ever have this feeling of like, where are the people? Or I don't have anybody new joining me right now. Like, where are the people? Well, we get to go meet them. There's so many people out there, especially right now home, wondering like, does this even exist? That was me. I didn't even know something like this existed. So yes, they do. And we get to meet them and just have fun and like get to know people. So that's one. So minimum 3, we say, you know, fast track 5, your number could be 10. If you're already at 5, why not 7? If you're already at 7, why not 10? Just meet a whole lot of people and just have fun doing it. It's the best. And then number 2 is, I just have my notes. Number 2 is asking people to take a look. So we are so lucky that we have this all laid out for us right on our easy system, our easy training. So taking a look can be text a few, depending on where you're at in your journey. Maybe you're kicking things off and you're just going to ask a few people to be accountability buddies on this new journey with you. Maybe it's going through your warm network and thinking of who are those people you'd love to have on your team? Who are those people you like, Jessi, that I thought about when I sat at that event? I'm like, wow, like, how cool would it be to do this together? Share that with them. Share what's on your heart with them. Invite them to the Pivot on Purpose webinar to hear what you're up to, so they understand when you're sharing your posts on social media and your transformation and, you know, all that's happening, so they know from you first. So that's take a look. And so, I mean, that one's pretty simple. We have it pretty much laid out there, but making sure we get to those and, reaching out to people and inviting them in. And again, that number can flex, right? Minimum 3, maybe your number right now is 5, maybe it's 10, but have that down and just make this a non-negotiable in your day. We like having the income producing activities first, because when the days get busy, when kids need us, when things happen, when a job, you know, when a boss is calling or whatever, we get to check these off first, right? So number 3 is following up. So we follow up with people forever, and it doesn't have to be about Isagenix again and again and again and again and again until they're just like, leave me alone, right? Just follow up about life. Everyone's busy. Everyone has life going on. Half the time we don't even know what is going on. And we think about Isagenix. We think about this opportunity. We know how amazing we feel with these products. We know how awesome it is to get that ding every Monday that we've been paid. But for somebody who isn't in yet, they don't know what they're missing out on just yet, right? So sometimes we get in our heads of like, oh, is it like too soon? Like, I don't want to bother them. Have you ever felt like that, or had people on your team maybe who felt like, oh, I don't know, like I don't want to bother them. But a lot of times they're just they're just stuck in their like routine that's not serving them if they've shared their goals with us, right? So we just get to be that reminder, and we get to be that friend, to be honest. Like following up can just be asking about how they've been hanging in there, how their kids are, how life is, like what's going on, right? And leading it to Isagenix when the timing is right, because timing is everything, right? So don't give up on people just if the timing isn't right. Next is social media. So fun and so huge right now, especially when we all can't get out as much as usual. But on here, a checklist of just like daily lifestyle shares is what I call them. So whatever platforms you're using, it doesn't matter if it's Facebook, stories, Instagram, I don't know, Snapchat, LinkedIn, whatever it is, like we get to show people, let people into this ISA life, right? Our lifestyle, the things we love. It goes back to like connecting with people who are like us and adding value and sharing fun things, and not just all of a sudden feeling like you have to go on there and just like Isagenix everything because you're obsessed. Like let Isagenix mix in with the things you love, maybe share a little tips, share a little pain points, what it was like before, let people into the behind the scenes, but also like the positivity and the community and all the things that go along with this, not just the products, not just the opportunity. Maybe it's the energy, maybe it's the friends you're meeting, maybe it's like Zach's funny memes, like all of the above, right? So we can share all of that. And each day, like that's our business storefront. So each day I like to use stories a lot for those quick little things, because it doesn't always have to be a perfectly planned out post, but at least once a week we are sharing. I like to call it a power post, but it can also be a story, because it could be you get on there, share your face, like stories. It doesn't have to be live. So practice on there if that's out of your comfort zone, but let people see you and feel your heart when you share about this, because that's when they can most relate. And at least once a week, we call it a power post, but share something specific about Isagenix, about your journey. Maybe it's a friend's story. Maybe it's your story. Maybe it's, what this income, this community has done for you during this time, like something more specific than just the lifestyle shares, and really let people in. So there's an action item for that. And then next is share the love. So this also can go with social media, but sharing the love, like we get so much energy and so much excitement and so much like fulfillment through this journey, and we get to go put that back out there into the world and spread it around. So if it's like birthday voice memos to people, if it's just picking up your phone and calling a friend, or FaceTiming like someone you haven't talked to, or someone that is home with all of their little ones right now, or a grandparent, like just being there for people in general. Like the more we share that love, the more it comes back to us always. So adding value, like sharing tips. It could be something like not always about Isagenix again, but just like something you learned, like, I don't know, sleep tips, or like a fun, workout, or just things like that. Maybe even replying off people's story and just cheering them on their journey and stuff. So they're going to come to you and when they're ready to make a change too, because they think of you and they're inspired by you already, even if they're not on your team yet. So always sharing the love. And then number 6, personal development is huge. We can only grow to the extent our team, our business can only grow to the extent that we grow. And I think we can all agree that we're here because we want to grow. We're not here because we want to stay exactly where we are, right? So like this has to be a part of our day-to-day. And podcasts are amazing, but books are where it's at. And I know Zach has showed so much. I used to have this story that like I'm super busy. I don't always have time to sit down and read a book. So like 10 pages a day, right? Minimum 10 pages a day. Everyone can do that, but podcasts can be mixed in for sure. Trainings can be mixed in. Maybe you're going back to some of the Team Easy trainings, or, Isagenix trainings, or things like that, and plugging in that way. But pick your number there. Maybe it's 10 minutes a day. Maybe it's 20 minutes a day. Maybe you are like lucky to have some extra time now with quarantine and like really want to dive in there. But personal development is huge and has to be on the list every single day, no matter what the capacity. And then there's a few more on this list. So I'm going to pass it back to Jessi for a few more.
Quick check-in. Is it okay if we go like 2 or 3 minutes over? Is Zach? Is that okay with everybody? All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna run through the second half of this checklist and keep taking notes for like the tips of what that category means, but we will share this afterward. The next one, it's like literally my baby. It comes with me everywhere, this checklist, but yeah, just wanted to check in and make sure that was okay. All right, so the next one is gratitude. Huge, even though Allie and Zach shared that we are very positive people, we've personally had calls with him where we've gotten on and we had, things to talk about, and he has literally stopped us dead in our tracks. And he said, hold on, wait, like what are 2 things you're grateful for? And it literally, in a moment, changes your entire perspective of whatever it is you were going to say wasn't working out. And it's so valuable to not just do that when you need it, but to have a practice that's how you start your day, or it's a point in which you go through the checklist and it's an intentional thing that happens every single day. So over here at our house, Brian and I do it when we're in bed, and we share from the last 24 hours something. We each share 3. And we usually end up laughing and giggling about something that's either a joke or who knows. But it's such a valuable practice that's literally shifted even just the way we sleep at night, because we've changed our state and we've gotten into such an amazing, higher vibe. So whenever it is that you do it, just get down to a practice of saying and putting down on paper or saying out loud what it is that you're grateful for. So I put them down on here. I end up writing way more than 3. But some days, honestly, I have to think a little bit longer about those 3, and that's okay. But just what you focus on, you see more of and you feel more of. And so that's the intention behind this number 7 on the checklist of your daily growth. And then the next one, number 8, is affirmations and mantras. However you want to kind of categorize it. Maybe it's writing down, today I allow myself to attract people who are, or maybe it's just a thought of what you're, wanting, what your intention is for the day or for the next day if you're doing it at nighttime. Never feel like you can get caught up on any good time or day to do any of these. They all work with whenever you can fit it in, and that's the best thing about this. So I had a really awesome, kind of thing that I put down. One day I'm looking back, I wrote, today I allow myself to attract people who are creative. And I found myself on Instagram using hashtags and people with amazing content and starting amazing conversations with people, because that was kind of the intention of what I had put down here on paper. And then I went out and found it. And then I kind of realized after that it was correlated with the way that I had kind of made that intention earlier. One time was about how the energy of our community that we call Your Best You was going to vibrate so high that everybody would want to share with everybody they knew. And that day, our Facebook group was blowing up. So it's so true. Just like gratitude, what you focus on, the intentions that you make, that you declare, it helps the way you talk to yourself. It helps you change your state. So that's number 8. Number 9 is goals. So a little bit more tangible. We divide it out into weekly, monthly, and quarterly. So the things we're writing monthly and quarterly seem to be the same thing I keep writing each day, or kind of shift a little bit. But those are kind of your bigger, do you want to go 4-star? Do you want to go crystal executive? Whatever a bigger quarterly goal is, that would be there. And you might be writing that a couple of times, right, until you reach it. Same with monthly. Maybe it's a bit bigger, but your weekly goal is more like, do you want to help 2 people get started on Isogenics? Do you want to create 3 consultants this week? Are you trying to help your friends create their first consultants? What are your weekly goals that you're excited to help happen that week? And what's really cool is as you're doing this checklist daily, you can read, you get to mark down what's happening. So when you help your friend go manager, you get to kind of write in, cross that off and kind of keep track of the things you set for that week. I only helped 1 person this week, and my goal was 2 friends. So I still have on here that I get to help 1 more person. So it's kind of cool to track your weekly, monthly, and quarterly, and knowing that your weekly goals add up to your monthly and your quarterly goals. And we can't forget that. So I think so often we can do one or the other, where we get really excited about these big big audacious goals that we have with Isagenix, which is amazing. You got to put that down. But knowing that the things you do every single day and every single week lead you to that, and there's no doubt about it. So write those big ones down too as well. I got caught up a lot in that in the beginning, where I would be really good at writing down my big goals, and I wrote them on every lanyard that I went to the events, and I definitely declared those, but I wasn't as good at tracking the daily and the weekly activity. So that's all under goals. And put your team's goals under there too, if I didn't mention that yet. Your team's goals get to go in there as well, because we only grow as our teams grow. And that's the best part about this business at Isagenix, is you can only succeed if other people are succeeding. So never, ever, ever forget to put down your team's goals in there. That category and the number 11 always have the most notes on my daily checklist. Customer service is the next one. As you can see, this whole checklist, it has to do with growth and your IPAs, asking people to take a look, doing the do, talking to new people. That is how we spend most of our time. Zach and Eden have been so powerful in our business and growing our business and helping us see that we get to spend most of our time talking to new people and helping people grow, and an intentional amount of time, but not as much as we are talking to new people with customer service and kind of admin relating things. So we do have an action item on here, and it kind of just lists it out right for you. Making sure your teammates and new members have the IsoLife app downloaded, making sure they feel empowered about how to use it, making sure they know how to, adjust their lifestyle rewards, IsoBody challenge, taking their before photos, welcoming them into the community, checking in with them on day 1, day 5, and then throughout the before their next box, shouting somebody out for goals that they're achieving. That's also a customer service related thing. It's holding people accountable. It's showing other people through social proofing. What are somebody's next month's goals? So making sure we're helping people see this as a lifestyle, helping to be intentional about this verbiage that we use around it, not just being this first 30 days, and really how they can create this lifestyle around it. And just having that be a quick, intentional thing to say, hey, who are the people that I've just helped get started, and how can I make sure all these things are kind of checked off for them? Number 11 is rank advancing your team. Again, this is just like goals. This always has the most notes in my daily growth checklist, and just making sure that we are, even if you don't have a huge team, who is on your team that has goals, and write them down. And maybe in the beginning they're just their physical goals, maybe afterward it starts to transition to having some business partners. But if you have people who want to grow with you, you have a lot of notes here. I have things like everyone who I'm working with, crystal manager, director, executive deadlines on here with the actual dates. I highlight those because those are important to flip through and see who's halfway to consultant, who's halfway to manager, who's going for director, who's going for executive. Like that gets to be, a big focus with writing it out and being intentional. And for me, it's been helpful to not have to just sign into my back office to see these things all the time, and just have it down here. So that has so many notes. And then the last one is networking and events. We include on here things like Pivot on Purpose calls and team trainings and any kind of event that is virtual as well. Obviously, this is different times, but as we transition back to doing in-person events, those would be your networking events. Maybe it's just a sip and sample that you do virtually that you host. Maybe it's a Isagenix event that's coming up. Maybe it's a workout class. Whatever it is, have down some type of goal or something you're leading people into that week, that month. You can put notes down. So, if it's, Kathy Cougar's coming on to train Team Easy on Thursday, that's something that goes in those notes there that you can help make sure you have a team of people excited and have the information to join. And then, as we get back to kind of living real life, really getting into the community and kind of creating those spaces to gather. But all of that really, Zooming with new customers, there are so many ways we can build into events or virtual events, and make sure they're down on paper and you're working toward them. And that is kind of what was I going to say about events? I think that was the last of it. Yeah, building community is a big part, whether it's people already on your team or people who haven't. So how can you kind of lead people to feel that? And what are the things you can plug people into? So that is number 12. That is the last and very last thing of our daily action growth checklist here. That only took us to 9:05, so that's not too bad. We didn't talk too much. But that's all we really got for you guys. We're so excited. I mean, literally, this is what we make sure happens every single day. Like Zach always says, like, carry water, chop wood and carry water. It's never going to end. This is always what we get to do. And kind of just allow this to lead into the duplication and the growth that you're looking for, and teach your team how to do the same. And if you're not doing it, you can't expect other people to do it. The speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. We so believe that. We're so committed to that. Our own growth, the growth of our team, having tools and resources to do so. And that's kind of all we got. Zach, did you have anything you needed to add? Allie, anything? We're so excited to train with you guys. We're so excited to be on here and so honored to be asked to train all of you amazing leaders and teammates.
Allie, any other thoughts? Oh, hang on. I got you. There you go.
How long does the beard stay?
That is that's the most important question in the world right now. If my mom had her choice, it'd be gone right now.
Love it.
No, just teasing. No, thank you guys all so much. And we can post like this template that we work off of, but I think it really just does help knowing like we have everything we need. We have all of the tools. We have all of the resources. We just get to do it every day, no matter what, and make it work into our day to know that those little things are all going to add up to those big things.
Right on. So I just want to recap really quickly with everybody. First of all, I hope you guys are seeing that in the chat box. Everybody found massive, massive value from what both of you just shared. I think what's most important for me, for you to hear me say, is how proud I am of both of you and how clearly diligent you've been in your work. I mean, look, it was a year and a half ago where we were driving from Jersey to Boston on this epic East Coast tour, and both of you just, is my story right? Am I saying it right? How am I coming across right? And to see you now leading just this global movement of people because of your posture and because of your certainty and because of how hard you've worked both as presenters and now as leaders and as business people is, to me, just the most exciting thing. So thank you both for honoring your talent and your potential, because what you're bringing to this community is so special. And we know that you're both just getting started. My big takeaway that I hope all of you heard was at the very beginning was the question of, what if I really got to work on it? What if I really got to work on it? You know, you guys heard what Jessi said. She's currently in the front lines and still finding a way. Allie just had, by the way, the most adorable puffy cheek little girl baby, and she is still finding a way, and she's making a full-time income working on a part-time basis because it was the answering of that question of, what if I really got to work with this? And what you guys just gave all of us tonight were tangible, applicable, day-to-day steps. And this is the difference, everybody, between treating it like a hobby and treating it like a business. And so I honor both of you. Thank you so much for your hearts of service, for your constant and consistent attitude, and for being such amazing friends, of course, too. Eden and myself, we're so grateful for you. We're so excited to watch you guys continue to rise. We know you have a team that absolutely adores you with good reason. So guys, show Allie and Jessi some love, of course, one more time in the chat box. Thank you both so much for coming out tonight. And I think this is going to help a lot of people create laser focus on a day-to-day basis. So thank you both so much. It was awesome.
Thank you so much for letting us be here. Should we post this in the group?
Yeah, go for it. I'm sure people love that. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Sweet. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a phenomenal evening. Allie, Jessi, you guys are rock stars. We appreciate you.
Love you guys.
Bye.